Hello, hello. Welcome on into another episode of the Whiskey Crusaders. I'm Will.
I'm Matt.
On today's episode, we're talking about Paddy's and Irish whiskey. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. Matt, you want to tell me more about this particular Irish?
I do. It's actually a very interesting story. So this is the Paddy's Irish Whiskey here. Big, whopping $20 whiskey or less. I think I paid like $17 since I bought this, 5 years ago, something like that. All right. Anyway, so Paddy's Irish Whiskey gets its roots back to 1779 to a distillery in Cork, Ireland, which officially became the Cork Distillers Company in 1867, which merged with four other distillers in Cork of North Mall, the Green, Watercourse, and Daly's. Of course, a year later, in 18, this place we called Midleton's also joined that group, kind of like those guys. They're generally fairly good things. Anyway, so James Murphy of the Mildeton group edited it up. The marriage for combining, of course, was the state of the Irish. At this point, we've been through the 1830s temperance movement of Ireland, the famine of the 1840s, and basically people aren't buying whiskey anymore, which is a problem. So, of course, by 1869, Daly's out of business. The Green's not distilling in the 70s. 1880s, the Watercourse is now closed. So we're not doing well. By 1900, we're down to two distilleries left in Cork, North Mall and Midleton. 1920, they decided, what do they have? A big fire. So the entire five-story mill burned to the ground. Most of the other production buildings broke. And after this point in time, now we're down to, let's say, well, we could rebuild it, but we've had World War I. We've had now Prohibition in America, and we're having an Irish Civil War. So, no. So we're down to Midleton. So, which then, of course, eventually combines in 1966 with Jameson and Powers to make Irish Distillers Limited, which, of course, eventually in 1972, Bushmills joined, and then later on, Pernod Ricard, of course, bought them out. Under the Cork Distilleries names, they still make the Paddy's, but in 2016 was sold with another company named Sazerac. And Sazerac, of course, as we know, a lovely American company, might know places like Buffalo Trace and other fun things. And so they're still making it there in Midleton, but they produce it for Sazerac themselves. All right, so what does Paddy's sell? In 1882, Patrick J. O'Frenchie was hired as a traveling salesman. He just went by someone named Paddy. He went all over and sold this. And so the original name of this whiskey was the Cork Distilleries Map of Ireland Whiskey, which is an absurd name for a whiskey. Which, of course, people in that are like, yeah, but he was a great jovial fellow. In fact, he was so jovial, they called him Paddying, because he was such a happy, joyful guy. And he was one of the guys that invented basically the whole concept of going to your customers and buying them drinks at the pub. That was Paddy. So that's what he did. So, in fact, he was so successful at doing this that people could, when they called to reorder this, I want Paddy's whiskey. So in 1913, they decided to rename it Paddy's because they might as well, because that's what everyone's asking for anyway. So in honor of him, also a great marketing campaign. Either way, so he sold Paddy's for 40 years. So that's quite a long time to work for one company, let alone selling it. So, but yeah, he did it by foot, by horse and buggy, by train. He sold it everywhere. So it's been awesome. He was also from Cork, was from the Catholic side, so kind of important back in the day. No one really cares anymore as far as that goes, but it was important at the time. And of course, now originally this was very well known in many Irish pubs, but really did not come to the States until 2012. So really, it's a really new product from America. But apparently, back in Ireland, if you went to a good Irish whiskey bar, they always had Paddy's, and you knew you were in the right place. It wasn't just some crappy, just run of the mill, just Jameson or Bushmills. That's all they got. But if you knew whiskey, they said Paddy's was the one to get. All right, so what's in the bottle? Let's go with that part. That's 40%. Now, the interesting is it's made up of grain, single pot still, and single malt whiskey. Of course, it's triple, so those most Irish is. Now, the difference in this one is a very heavy malt presence in this one rather than a single pot still and not a lot of grain. So it's going to be mostly single malt. Other most blends, of course, of the day have mostly grain whiskey. It's triple distilled, like I said. It's up to 7 years old, which is nice. It doesn't have nation, but it's up to in ex-bourbon casks. It is also the fourth best-selling Irish whiskey in the world, which I did not know, and won the best whiskey in the world for Irish blended at the 2020 International Whiskey Competition. So let's see what we think of this very fine Paddy's and see if we agree. Yeah, definitely can smell more malt on the nose for sure.
It does. It's not metallic at all.
Which I really appreciate it because I was afraid. It's like I think I paid like $17 for this back in. I looked up; it's still $20, so it's still a cheap, fairly easy to find whiskey. Sandalwood, corn, walnut, toffee, vanilla, little melted butter.
I'm getting a lot more of my granola. I'm getting a lot more of my single malt notes. The granola, the cereal, almost cornflakes.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a nice nose. It's real nice.
There is a bit of that single pot still. You can smell a little bit of that doughiness, a little bit of that breadiness.
Yeah,
almost absolutely. That sugar cookie.
Mm-hmm. I like
Not
it.
a lot of fruit.
No, not a lot of fruit, which is interesting for Irish. Not a lot of fruit at all. It's more doughy and malt forward.
If I was going to say anything, I'd say a light peach.
Okay, I can see that.
You may be able to get me like a white grape as well, but I mean, like, really, it's just,
and maybe even a hint of grapefruit.
Yeah. There are some Chardonnays that are, down this same kind of path.
Yeah, it's nice. It tastes good too. Not bad. A lot of melted butter on there. Malt, toffee, a little bit of corn. No metallic either on this. On the thing, that's very nice. Sweet, a little straw dry. Kind of like a Chardonnay finish, I would say. A little oak on it. It's
no
nice.
Metallic, but there is some sharpness to it.
Yeah, and I'm sure, I like it though. It's nice.
But while I think that their cuts may have been a little bit wide, I also think that they went a little bit deeper into the age than just the 3-year.
Yeah, it says most of it's
necessity.
7. And of course, Irish whiskey has to be at least 3, but it said most of it's 7, even though I put an age statement on it.
Okay, they actually said that most of it's 7.
Most of it's 7, yeah.
Okay, that's it. Honestly tasted. It doesn't taste like a 3-year-old.
No, and there's no, and the coloring's not bad. I don't know. It didn't say if it was colored or not, but the coloring's nice. If that's natural color, it's not bad. It's not like it's super dark by any means, but that's certainly darker than a 3-year would be.
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy with that, to be real honest. I mean, for $20, it's not a bad whiskey at all. I'd rather have that than Jameson, I'll tell you that.
It's not bad. I mean, we're talking $20 price point.
I was super happy.
That's solid for 20.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this bottle predates the Sazerac. It's still got Pernod Ricard on the back of it. But, I mean, I assume it hasn't changed. They're still making it there at Midleton, so I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah, but is the age still going to be the same?
It still says it's 7. I looked it up. It's still 7, so, yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would absolutely much rather reach for this than Jameson.
Any day.
Yeah. The other one that's new on the market, Busker, that one's okay too. But if this is in the same price point, I'm liking this.
I'd rather drink this. I like 2 Gingers a lot too.
Yeah, 2 Gingers is not bad.
And maybe a night of cheap, good Irish whiskey.
That may be in the future.
Very near future, since it is almost March.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I
like it.
I'm not sad about that one.
No, it's good.
Good price point.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty tasty juice. It's not anything that says it's not going to be.
Right.
My expectations are not high, but when you meet them, you meet them.
Exactly.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Click that notification bell. We're also live every Monday night. Come check us out there. If you want to see some behind the scenes action, come check out our Patreon page. And until next time, keep on crusading for the whiskey in your glass.
Cheers.
Cheers.